Uri Dadush, Senior Fellow at the OCP Policy Center, thank you for being on WPC TV. Uri, you're an expert on trade and you're studying trade patterns now. What is the impact of Trump's policies on trade, and what do you think is going to happen? Will there be severe trade wars?
Well, right now it's difficult to see an impact in the overall statistics. There are a lot of anecdotes of firms that are complaining or farmers that are complaining. But in the aggregate, world trade continues to grow quite robustly. I think if you go forward and you have a continuation of these kinds of policies and accentuation, for example, of the protection against China, then the situation could change quite markedly. And it will affect a lot of global production chains, but it will also affect investor confidence. And that is probably the mechanism through which the impact will be felt most immediately. If the trade wars really accentuate, then you will see it'll be reflected, it's beginning to be reflected in the stock market.
And you think it'll be a trans-Pacific trade war as well, and also a transatlantic one, or not? Because after all, there were tariffs against European products.
My reading is difficult to tell with President Trump. My reading, though, is that he's made his deal with North America, Canada, and Mexico. I think he's dialed down the tension on the European side, probably because he doesn't see them as much of a threat. However, this allows him to turn his firepower on China, which of course is a tremendously important and rapidly growing trade relationship. And so, even though it might be limited to China and get worse with China, in the long term, that will affect all of world trade.
So a final question. If you were advising Xi Jinping in Beijing on policy, what would you advise him?
I would advise him to be tough on the United States, to retaliate on the United States, and so as to moderate the policy. But at the same time, I would say listen very carefully, not just to Mr. Trump, but to, let's call it, the commentariat in the United States that has turned quite a bit against China because they see a lot of trade distorting and market distorting measures on the part of the Chinese. And I would add that it would be in the interest of the Chinese anyway to deal with these distortions.
Uri Dadush, thank you so much for going to BBC,
Thank you.
WPC TV. Thank you.
Thank you.